All right, well, we're going to get started. Welcome everyone to our last third Friday KC Coalition for Digital Inclusion meeting. We'll resume our first Friday meetings once a month starting in March. So thanks for being here. And I'm going to advance the. All right, here we go. So we always start with our vision and mission. Also, for those who don't know me, I think I know everyone, but I'm Leslie Scott. I'm the Digital Inclusion Program Manager at Casey Digital Drive. And we welcome people to help us facilitate these meetings. If you're ever interested in doing that, you can just drop me an email, and I'll put my email in the chat so that you have it. So our vision is that every citizen and household in the Kansas City metropolitan area has access to the internet, the equipment needed to use it, and the skills needed to take advantage. And then our mission is to facilitate collaboration among organizations and initiatives working to bridge the digital divide in order to maximize the resources for the greatest impact. So these are some of the socials. I think with the transition at the library, these may get updated, so stay tuned on that. Also, I think that the website is currently on pause, so we'll be working on how that membership works in the future. So again, stay tuned. All right, so we are going to go ahead and hear from Helen, I think, first, because I think we're still waiting on some of our other speakers to join.
Leslie, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Mary. Great. So sorry. I'm trying to do too many things. All right. Well, we can go ahead and hear from you, Mary, and we'll stop sharing. And if you have a presentation, great. If not, you can just talk. It's totally up to you. I know you'll.
I actually do have. I do. Oh, there it is. Share. I'm just trying to find the share. All right. Good. 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 Here it is. And then I'm just gonna do home slideshow from the start. All right. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Great. So I wanted to just give you an update on some of the science, technology, engineering, math that we're integrating both into the Education Day and Workforce Development at the Ignition Lab. The Ignition Lab we're in our 5th year, and it provides 12 different zones of workforce development with the goal of an entrepreneurial pathway for each one. A significant number of those are actually tech related, and really give kids not only an immersion in different aspects of technology, but also potential pathways for careers. So I thought what I would do is we do a series of highlights every month of students from each of the schools that we have. So I've just picked one of the schools and a showcase of some of the things students are doing. But in our fabrication program, kids are learning how to use a CNC router. So they're learning the software programming, they're learning the printing. And so, for example, the student here not only was able to use the software to program her name, but then she was actually able to control the CNC router and print out her name. In this lab, not only the kids use the software, but then they're also learning hands-on tools. So they use a pretty large ShopBot router, but it's been great to see not only their ability to learn the software, but students who have also been in 2D, 3D modeling using CAD have been able to actually use some of the software there and integrate it into their projects in this lab. Allison is working on a client connected project with the police department, and so she is in the product design lab. And you can see in the back of the photo that there are quite a few different 3D printers. So the kids have some high speed, some regular speed. They also learn how to create their own filament. And then they actually go through a certification in Onshape as a part of their coursework. And they can do a beginning, an intermediate, and an advanced. We also have a graphic design lab. And so in this lab, the students are not only learning the Adobe suite, so they're doing Illustrator, they're doing Photoshop and other programs. They also can use that to do other graphic work, in which they run a screen printing lab as well as a heat transfer lab. This is actually our computer tech class. So in this class, not only are students doing some basic digital literacy when they enter, but they're also able to pursue market value assets in terms of a level 1 and a level 2 WISE certification in Chromebook repair, tablet repair, and laptop repair. And then we'll be adding the phone repair certification this spring.
They said they'll be ready at 2 o'clock. Is it okay if I stay here?
You can stay here.
I don't want to be in school today.
All right. Next, we have the mechatronics, where the students are doing robotics, coding, as well as they're doing Python right now. And then they're also doing a little bit of AI in that class. And each of the labs are set up so there's a certification that goes with the beginning, the intermediate, and the advanced, as well as a goal of a client-connected project at the end. We also have our partnership with MindDrive, and so the students participate in an engineering design studio. So there are a number of different areas that students are working in. Not only are they working in metal fabrication and welding, but they're also designing and implementing battery-operated electrothon cars that they race. So they design it, they do the circuitry and the batteries. They also are doing electric swaps. Currently, they're actually doing their first hybrid. So it gives them a lot of different opportunities there. In our digital media lab, students are learning software as it relates to music production, podcasting, and film editing. And then this was an interesting one in our green tech. Yesterday, there was a regional competition for renewable energy and wind turbines. And the group that we had from Hogan actually was the judge's choice in terms of their innovation, collaboration, and their capstone presentation. One of our newer labs that we've recently added is our cybersecurity course, which students can work on their certification there as well. So that just gives you a little bit of background on the different ways that we're integrating science with technology and engineering in the labs. We actually start out early. We have an infant toddler makerspace. We have a preschool makerspace. We have a maker city for our kindergarten through 8th graders. We also bus in the maker city middle schools during the school day, and they get a chance to do career exploration as well as applied math and science skills, many of those tech related. And then when students move into the ignition lab, those are the areas that I just showed you that are tech related. They can intern after school and in the summer. And we've recently started a twilight program where students can come from 5:30 to 7:30 if they're not able to come after school. We knew when we opened it that kids would need to contribute at home. And so students can actually earn a stipend after school in the evening now or in the summer. So that's just a quick update on some of the things that are happening at Operation Breakthrough, and I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have in terms of what we're doing and how students can get engaged.
I just have one really burning question, Mary. Has Taylor Swift visited your ignition lab?
She has not yet, but we're working on a couple of projects with a gift from her. So I'm hoping that she will come see those at some point.
Yeah, for those who don't understand why I would ask that, Travis Kelce was the huge benefactor to get this going. I remember I was a co-owner of a small business right over there at 31st and Troost, and remember that old rickety muffler shop where your ignition lab now stands. So such an improvement to that corner.
Well, one thing that's kind of funny, it started out as a muffler shop, and one of the new programs that's not quite as tech related, but is our new automotive program, that we're just doing traditional automotives and mechanics. And one of the cool things there is we started with the muffler shop, and now we're adding another metal building to expand the automotive program. But the kids are actually repairing the OB family's cars as they're working towards their certification. So it's kind of like a double win.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to connect with you about something else. So look for an email from me.
Great.
All right. Anyone else have any questions for Mary? Oh, from where do you? Yeah.
Sorry, this is Helen Beteet. Where do your students come from?
So we have, during the daytime, we have students from Guadalupe, Frontier, Hogan, De La Salle, SVN, trying to think, soon KIP. We also have some students after school that come from a number of district schools, and we have just a wide variety in the evening now as well. So there's about 600 kids that bus in during the school day, and then we have about 100 during the school year after school, close to 50 in the twilight, and then this summer will be about 220.
So during the school day, are they then, is it kind of like the CAPS program where they're earning credits
Yes.
for school? Okay, you probably said that and I missed it.
Oh,
Sorry.
I forgot to say that, but you do earn credits. We actually have 5 buses because the biggest barrier for students to be able to go off campus is busing and the high cost. So we have 4 full-time bus drivers, and all they do is literally bus kids back and forth from schools, whether it's to Maker City for middle school or Ignition Lab for high school. And then kids' buses from their high schools drop them off after school.
All right. And then, oh, sorry, Ken, go ahead.
Leslie, hey, Mary, sorry I came in late. My meeting ran over, but fantastic model format. My question I have is, do you guys have, relationships or agreements with employers? And how does the child or the student, work through your program? And what is that handoff, to these employers? Do you guys have anything like that in place?
Yes, and now that, we have kids that are actually 17 and 18 and graduating, but we have a number of corporate partners. For example, we've placed students with KCNSC, with Black and Veatch. We have a electrical company that's doing a set of workshops this spring, and they'll take on 5 interns this summer. But that's really our big push now, is to find those internship placements.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can start with in the summers, because in the first few years we just didn't have old enough kids.
Right.
Because most companies are wanting them to be 17 at a minimum, ideally 18.
Okay.
And then we've done some at Square One where kids have been able to do their CNC routing. So I'm super excited about trying to grow that this year.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the viable next step, so kids who are not going to college have a viable pathway.
Makes sense. I'll reach out to you. I've got some ideas to float by you. Okay. I'll reach out to you.
That. Thank
Yep.
you. I would
Mhm.
love that.
Great concept. We get it. I mean, what I'm hearing is that she has taken what I call empirical data, and that's just listening to what people actually need from the ground up. She built that program from the ground up. So I want to thank you, Mary, for that approach, because that's what's needed right now. Actual, data. What does people really need from the ground level? Not these programs that I'll come from corporate America. So we did it all the time in corporate America. All the smart people would get together and create these programs and push it down. I'm talking about when I worked at Sprint, United Telephone, local long distance, and Sprint PCS. That's how they did it back in the 90s. We created the programs and pushed it to you people. And how did that turn out for Sprint? I'm not putting them on blast, but They got bought. They didn't buy anybody. They got bought, right? So I'll be quiet. I'll just be quiet. I'll be quiet.
One quick thing before I turn it back, and you made me think of it, Kenneth, is we were noticing that we had kids that were proficient in CAD and like unbelievable skill sets, but their math skills coming in were about a fourth grade level. And so for kids that wanted to go to college, that was like a big disconnect, is like, how am I going to succeed on the math side? I have the technical skills. So we actually started pushing in math during the school day. So we amplify it in the actual labs, and we've mapped all the projects they do back to the kind of 12 core foundational math principles. And then we actually are working with Kogan to co-teach algebra, and we're just seeing a huge growth because we started where the gaps were. So if that was addition and subtraction or multiplication, that's what we're working on. And now we have kids that are actually doing algebra, which is that baseline that's going to make them be able to manage the classes they'll need in college. So I'm pretty excited about the math side.
So John had dropped this in the chat. Where do you get your mentors and instructors?
So we have full-time instructors that we've hired that are experts kind of in their areas. Some are certified, in education, some are not. Most are professionals in the field. And then the number one thing we hire for is attunement to teenagers. So that ability to relate, because there's just a lot of emotions going on, and then skill set second. And then we get a lot of mentors from corporate partnerships.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mary. It's always just so inspiring to hear everything you all are doing, Operation Breakthrough. And I would just say, if you have not ever been over there to see the Early Childhood Education Center, the Ignition Lab, I mean, everything is just so impressive. And I was just quoting Sister Berta at the CEO interview that we did the other day about the benefits cliff. She was the first one who introduced me to that concept. And, I never will forget her saying, being poor is a full-time job. So, such an inspiration.
Absolutely. Well, please visit if anyone would like to. Happy to collaborate or share in the work. And we also opened an elementary school that's STEM based. So we're excited about what that means for kids that sometimes don't get access. So anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you so much.
All right. Helen, you're up. Well, before Helen goes, I failed to ask, is there anyone who's new to the meeting today?
That would be me. Hi, and sorry, I also came in a little bit late.
It's okay.
This meeting ran a little bit over. My name is Rosie Rodriguez. I am the program director for Avenue of Life. And so it is my first time here, and so super excited to be invited to this space, but then to just learn about other organizations and what they're doing in terms of building digital skills for families and kids.
Yeah, we'll hear from you a little bit later, and I'm excited to learn more about what all you're doing. Shawn.
Yeah, thank you, Leslie. Yeah, I'm Shawn Kirkwood. My first meeting here. I'm with AARP Missouri, specifically in the Kansas City region, and I'm their director of outreach. Been here at AARP for about 5 months now, so I know enough to be dangerous, but I've worked with the city of Kansas City for about 15 years prior to, so I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys in a few about our community challenge grant, and looking to hear from your organizations as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome, Shawn. Anyone else? All right. Okay, Helen, take it away.
I'm unmuting myself. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, some amazing information that Mary shared, and I was going to, when I was listening to her, I wanted to let her know that my nephew, just this summer, he graduated from Purdue in cyber security. And so he now presently works in Chicago for Price Waterhouse. So he could probably help, take care of me now. So so I'm glad that kids are getting skills that are going to really be important for employment. And that's kind of what we're all about. Um, well, again, good morning, everyone. You've already got started really great. I want to thank you to the Kansas City Digital Inclusion for the opportunity to share with you today. I can already tell you're doing amazing work in the community, just simply connecting us all together. My name is Helen Beteet, and I represent see if I can get the slides to move. Okay, there we go. My name is Helen Beteet, and I represent the Vernon Multipurpose Center located in the historic Vernon School at 3436 North 27th Street in Kansas City, Kansas. The school was built in 1936 as a segregated elementary school for African American students. It was known at its inception in 1858, sorry about that, as the Colored School of Quindaro, and was renamed to honor the Bishop William Tecumseh Vernon, a past president of Western University and HBCU, who also was the U.S. Register for the Treasury from 1906 to 1911. He was a prominent minister of the AME Church and, of course, an educator. So why Vernon? Why the history? Well, as I mentioned, the school was designed to educate African American children in a segregated school system, serving a community that had systematically been denied access to resources, infrastructure, and opportunity. It was created to meet an educational need of the community. Students were instructed from grades first grade to the eighth grade. The biggest technology of the school was to acquire typewriters for the eighth grade class. Interestingly, this was a project headed by my mother and the school principal back in 1957. And today, as we exist as Vernon Multipurpose Center, we believe we are being called to meet a modern version of this same need. Because in 2026, digital literacy is literacy. We again are challenged to place an important tool in the hands of our citizens. And I'd like to begin with a story. Recently, we met a senior who comes to the Vernon Multipurpose Center regularly for the Congregate program. He was trying to schedule a follow-up appointment with his doctor, but the clinic now requires patients to confirm appointments through an online portal. He had a smartphone. He had internet access technically, but he did not have a laptop, did not know how to navigate the portal, and was hesitant to enter his personal information, his health information, into something he didn't fully understand. So he waited, and eventually he missed the window for his appointment. Note, this wasn't an issue of transportation. It was not due to lack of insurance. It wasn't even due to lack of willingness to confirm his appointment. It was a lack of meaningful digital access. And that's what brings us here today. Now, a lot of the information on this slide, I think you guys probably already know. This is no doubt why the organization began, and it's worth reviewing very quickly. Where the Vernon Center sits, nearly 1 in 5 households lacks any type of broadband subscription, okay? Over 20% of the households in some of the Northeast KCK neighborhoods rely solely on their smartphones for internet. And the zip codes that we cover are a majority of persons that have a income around 35,000 annually, which in terms of internet means that they're twice as likely not to have reliable broadband services. So at Vernon, we began a program through a grant through the Black Community Fund to be able to hire instructors to do some classes. So we started it out as a 6-week project. It ended up being a 6-month project. So we clearly knew that there were people in the community that would value the training and the opportunity to use the proper skills. We're investing locally where the need is high. So the zip codes there, if you're familiar in Kansas City, Kansas, those are congressional district, I think, commission district 1 and 4 primarily. In this community, we operate a congregate program Monday through Friday for people 55 and older, initially just for meals and fellowship. The education extended from crafts and just basic reading skills to now computer skills. So we're glad about that. This was a picture of our first graduating class. We started out just a 6-week program. The class kind of took its own wings because we just, as I think someone mentioned, we first had our own kind of curriculum we thought we were going to train, and then we shifted gears a little bit to find out what these seniors and community people really needed. So although we had we had 10 laptops or pads, we found out people needed also to learn how to use their phones better. You know, there were things they didn't know how to use on their phones. So we just kind of tailored it. But toward the end, we were even addressing issues of AI, you know, so it was kind of a nice thing to see grow. Now, the Adopt 2.0 grants have been awarded to the Vernon Multipurpose Center. And we were excited because this exactly fit into our mission of expanding what our community needed to exceed. We knew that we had seniors aging in place, households led by essential workers, multi-generational families, and residents living on a fixed or limited income. So for Vernon to be able to provide 700 devices to this community is awesome. We'll be starting classes in the next few weeks. These are going to be structured classes. Some will be in person. We're working on an online component, but of course, online means people who can get online, correct? So it's kind of a chicken versus egg kind of thing. And these devices are considered as a loan program for the state. So it's not a giveaway program, it's a loan program. They have things they have to meet to be able to obtain those. We desire to create an extended Wi-Fi access to the community. And to be transparent, we're still working on getting matching funds to make that happen. But if it's achieved, Vernon will be able to provide and will back Wi-Fi services for that community for at least 5 years is our goal. If you want more information about Vernon Multipurpose Center and the Adopt 2.0 program, you can visit our website. This website will give you more information about the history of Vernon School. We actually have a museum in our center as well as places that you can link in to share with people to get devices or get on the Adopt 2.0 wait list. And lastly, where we're located is in the Quindaro Ruins. And the Quindaro Ruins was known as the gateway to freedom. People crossed from Parkville over to Kansas for freedom. Today, the digital access, you see my quote here, is not a luxury. It is the modern gateway to education, to healthcare, to employment, and civic participation, which you all are involved in. And it's essential for our ages. We just heard about kids, young people that are going to be our future. And we also have seniors and people that are my age, I guess I'm a senior, that still desire to sharpen our skills and still be engaged. And even just being able to make a doctor's appointment, right? So thank you again for the opportunity for me to share a little bit about our vision of the digital gap. And thank you for sharing the information and getting inspired by programs that are already out there and going well.
Thank you, Helen. I am going to prompt you a little bit, you're
Okay.
looking for community partners, right? To maybe
Yeah.
help spread the word about this opportunity?
Yes. Yes, we are. So if you go to our website, the easiest way is just to connect there, or you can reach out to me directly. I can put information in the chat.
Yeah, I was thinking Ken Yancey. Ken, are you on still? Yeah,
I'm still here. Yes.
yeah.
How can I help?
Well, I was just thinking that maybe you and Helen might want to connect to get those laptops into the hands of the folks
Oh,
you're serving on the Kansas side in the Wyandotte
Absolutely.
County area.
yes. We
Absolutely.
we currently have a wait list in Kansas City, Kansas, and we had no marketing in Kansas City, Kansas. But as you know, a lot of folks in Missouri know people, and so
Okay.
there's 378 people on our wait list, and I'm sure a lot of them are go to your school or they know you, Helen. They know you probably. They probably
Oh,
already know.
wow. Okay, well, that's fantastic. Well, definitely the application is on our site. To go to that site, I would direct them there to apply immediately.
Okay,
Do
okay.
that. Uh, we want to be, we're not trying not to give out 700 computers. We want to be able to do that. One of our challenges is, as we probably know, I don't know, does anyone else on the line have the matching grant of Adopt 2.0?
Oh, we do.
You do, okay. So we know it's not just a walk in the park, right? To do it. But our goals are the same. We're trying to get devices and Wi-Fi in people's hands and in people's ability to access. With it being a matching grant, we are still obviously still looking for opportunities for funding to make that matching. We can buy and they reimburse us. So we can only buy so much and get reimbursed. Yeah.
So you have to to make the purchase first and then get reimbursed. So you have to have that upfront funding in order
Yes.
to make it work. And those reimbursable grants are so tricky to make work. Yeah.
That is a challenge. Also, if there's anyone that wants to help doing instruction, I think we do have some instructors, but we believe that we cannot have enough to help support the program as well. So if you know of anyone who would be interested in the device training, please access me at info at Vernon Center, kck.org, or I believe you can actually go on to the other website too. That's more to enroll people that are interested in devices or information. We'll keep our website updated. So as soon as we know we're a go for Wi-Fi, you guys will know as well. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Helen. Anybody else have any questions or comments for Helen? All right. Well, I dropped in the chat, but I live 5 minutes away from Vernon, and it's so exciting to see a project like this in an area that's so where resources are so needed.
Yeah, so much of our aggressiveness in terms of funding has been to kind of revamp the building. So if you go by there, since you're close by, you'll see we just got a new north door. That front door has been taken by a restoration company. We'll have the original door back on the building to look less like an abandoned building. But there's a lot of life going on inside. And when the opportunity the Adopt 2.0 came and our experience with the seniors this past year, we said, well, let's go for it. Let's try it. But it's a lot.
Yeah. And just one quick comment. We went out for your kickoff, and one of the things that I remember was seeing those typewriters, and I didn't understand how important those were to your history, but I thought they were just like, typewriters, which are history in themselves. But now I understand it with your mom being the driver of that project. So it's a cool um, important visit to make because of that Underground Railroad and just the, I don't know, the feeling you get, it's hard to describe.
Oh, there's a block. Okay.
Thanks for being here, Helen. Sherrill, is the museum open to tour?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
All you need to do, and in fact, I did a tour this past Tuesday to remember. But we have a docent group that gives tours. If you go to our same website, the info at Vernon Center, kck.org, just let us know what days and times you're interested in. We're usually pretty available. Right now we've been averaging, in this month so far, we've had about 35 kids come through with, their sponsors to see the school. We take them out to the Overlook. And Leslie, you're probably familiar with the Overlook, and we tell them the significance of where Western University was. Many people don't know there was a entire university in
I
that,
didn't know that.
yeah, right behind John Brown's statue. It had, 3-story buildings, education, taught teachers, nurses. Well, anyway, but it was an educational hub for that community. So we're the last building standing, so we have a commitment to make it work.
Yeah, and one last quick thing for people who've been coming to these meetings for a long time, you may remember Marvin Robinson, who worked really, really hard to save the Quindaro ruins from becoming a literal landfill,
Yes, yeah.
which just boggles my mind. But he passed away, and this is part of his legacy. And
And then we have a video about him too.
yeah,
Vernon produced a video in 2024
oh, that's
that you can
great.
find on YouTube about him. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So just can't leave this conversation without mentioning Marvin and his contributions.
He was an inspiration for
He
sure.
was. He was. Right. Well, thanks again, Helen. Rosie, you ready?
I'm ready. Let me share. Are you guys able to see my screen? Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the space to speak on Avenue of Life's behalf. As I mentioned, I am Rosie Rodriguez. I'm the program director here at Avenue of Life, and our story kind of started back in 2013. Our CEO and our founder, Desiree Moniz, she and KCK Public Schools, USD 500, they work collaboratively since there was a huge increase in family homelessness. I believe during that time we had identified over 600 families that had been identified as making evento. And as you guys know, we are speaking about families, meaning that there's thousands of kids that were being identified during that year. And so our co-founder and the liaison at the time in the school district, they did a call of action to really address this issue. And by 2014, Avenue of Life had already established a program to support families that were facing homelessness. And luckily, they were really able to support about 50% of the families that were in the program were able to obtain permanent housing, which was remarkable. And so our big goal with Avenue of Life is to end student homelessness. And this is because we really want to end the cycle of poverty. As you guys know, the more education that our students receive, then the bigger chances of obtaining post-secondary education and therefore more income to be able to leave these systems that are keeping our families down. So our work is to empower our families and to provide them with the tools necessary to get them out of the systems that are constantly keeping our families in the same circle. and cycle of poverty. So that is our big goal with Avenue of Life. As you guys know, especially in these kind of climate circumstances, we are seeing a huge increase in homelessness, and this is due to, especially in Wyandotte County, affordable housing, limited resources, and affordability. Our families are simply not making enough to sustain themselves. We do partner with all the charter schools and KCPS on the Missouri side. And then also here in Wyandotte County, we service all of the 4 different districts in Wyandotte County: Edwardsville, Piper, Turner, and then USD 500. And those are the trends that we're really seeing right now here in the metro area, that affordability it's a huge issue, and that unfortunately families are just not making enough to sustain themselves. And so it is a very complex problem. And I don't know if you guys have heard this, but from the different kind of meetings that we've been into, the World Cup coming into the city can potentially be they're calling it a natural disaster for residents specifically, because prices are racing. As you guys know, some of the landlords are receiving incentives to improve their properties and be able to potentially use them for people that will be visiting Kansas City during the World Cup. And what this means is that these properties are going to be a lot less affordable for families that are currently living in the area. We have seen an increase in housing affordability. We are already starting to see these trends that people were kind of discussing early on about how this was going to affect our residents here in Kansas City. And so just know that we are beginning to see that. Now, this is our process. We do partner with the various school districts. Typically, the school districts identify families that are experiencing homelessness, and just know that it is not just street homelessness. It can be a family that is couch surfing, or sometimes they're doubled up with other family members. However, they're there only temporarily. So any type of temporary kind of residence that would fit into the McKinney-Vento Act. We also provide intensive case management. We have our single point of service days, which are basically our collective impact model is what we use to support families that are in need. And this is an amazing model that really alleviates and removes a lot of those barriers that families face constantly. We bring all of the organizations and agencies to come to one place to support families, so that families aren't having, especially families that don't have transportation, right, having to travel to different organizations and agencies. They just come here to a one-stop shop and they're able to get the support that they need. Our goal is also to build and maintain strong relationships with housing providers. We do try to really emphasize, even with our clients, that the relationship with landlords is very important, because that's how we're able to provide options, housing options for families that are currently in the program. And so sometimes if we have a partnership and let's say the tenant or the family is not taking care of the property, then that really damaged the relationship. And so we really try to emphasize the importance of taking care of a property, so that not only the family that's residing there is able to benefit, but even the families that come after that. So that's something that we really work and emphasize with clients. Part of the work in the intensive case management, once families are referred to Avenue of Life, I do pair them with the navigator. And I really love the role of a navigator. It's more than just case management. I feel like case managing is really just managing someone's case, but a navigator is really that person being that bridge and that connector to the resources, even after analyzing their case. So they go a little bit further than just, asking people what their circumstances are. The navigators work mostly as a coach that's really coaching families to connect with resources and really address current barriers that they're facing. So it's a lot more intentional than just case managing. Our single point of service days, as I mentioned earlier, these are the agencies that come together to one location, and this is just to simply make it easier on the families to obtain the resources that they need. The family education portion is also a requirement in order to be in our program, and this is where the digital skills come in. We do have our financial literacy class 101. Here in this class, we really emphasize the importance of having the skills of the financial literacy of being able to budget and really manage their money. And sometimes individuals in our families don't really know how to, work with an Excel spreadsheet or how to add formulas so that they're able to auto calculate their spendings and be aware of how much they're spending. So we do create those easy systems for them so that they learn those skills and eventually be able to create their own budgeting system. Housing 101 and even with Employment 101, we try to incorporate AI platforms that are able to support families when we're not able to support them during the time that they're here. So we do provide classes, and our partners do share, for example, Housing 101, we do a lot of know your rights, right? Like what are your rights as a tenant? What are the things that you should know if you're looking to be a homeowner? What are the things that you should know? However, when we're looking for properties, we do introduce certain systems to clients so that they're able to access properties and be able to visit those properties in a timely manner. And AI platforms are actually great for that. So anything that's digital and can make the life easier for families, we're always going to utilize those resources. Also with Employment 101, we do utilize those digital skills as well. So we do introduce them to new platforms that are able to really analyze the resume or, be able, if there's a very specific position or job that they're looking for, being able to utilize AI platforms so that it generates options for them. So those are kind of like the new digital skills that we're introducing to families. And from what I've been hearing, it seems like you guys are a lot more advanced. I do feel like here we're in the very basic stages of digital skills. And for those of you that are in the area and work and do a lot of footwork, you guys know that a lot of our families need very basic introduction to digital skills. Some of those, it's really using the websites and going into sometimes, for example, uploading documents with us. We do utilize a system called CCL, and a lot of the documentation that needs to be provided to us is done through a portal and a link. And so sometimes that's even difficult for clients. However, since this is the only form of communication that sometimes we can have, those are skills that they're learning themselves, even though initially is an issue. They do tend to pick up on those skills as well. School platforms are a huge one. Sometimes parents don't know that every school district will have a parent portal available and that all of the information is there. And since our goal is to end student homelessness, ultimately our goal is to have students at school, and attendance and chronic absenteeism is a huge part of the work that we also address. So making sure that parents know how to check their students' attendance, their work, and utilizing those platforms to ensure that they're on top of things, especially on their kids' educational needs. So those tend to be basic, but much needed. Some data that I really wanted to share with you guys, as I mentioned, the first 3 years of partnership with KCKPS, there was a 50% reduction in student homelessness, and it fell from 1,400 to around 7,700, which is a huge reduction. So we do know that the impact model works. However, it is important for families to know that it does require a lot of work from them as well, because ultimately we do want our families to not rely on us. We want them to be self-sufficient and be able to do these things on their own. Also, graduation day, rates, we do have a youth coordinator that is currently at Wyandotte High School, and her role is to support all unaccompanied youth there at that school. As you guys know, Wyandotte is one of the biggest high schools in here in Wyandotte County, and so she is placed there, and she's reached almost 100% graduation. I know last year it was 98%, but she is doing such an amazing work with our unaccompanied youth there at Wyandotte High School. So just know that a role such as a coordinator that emphasizes on providing the supports needed to students that are under the circumstance of being homelessness, they do need a designated person to support them. And unfortunately, sometimes schools just simply don't have the resources for that. Strong housing sustainability, we do check in with our families once they're housed, making sure that they're continuing to be in the same residence or continuing to thrive, and also to see just how impactful our collective impact model is. And so we do check in with our clients as much as we possibly can. These are the 4 different programs that we currently have. We have Impact Mo, which Impact Mo is more of a preventative kind of support that we do. This is for any families in the school districts that are needing to meet with partners and organizations. They don't necessarily have to go through the program. However, they can be referred by a coach who happens to be typically a social worker from their school, and they're able to obtain resources and support from organizations just by attending our single point of service days. Impact KCMO and Impact KCK, those are our case management programs that are currently available for Kansas and Missouri. They've all come with the educational piece and, of course, the intensive case management from their navigator. But that is all.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Rosie? I know that Leah asked, do you teach all these classes at the Equipping Center?
Look at you knowing about the Equipping Center. Yes. Well, we do try to, transportation has been a huge issue for families, especially since we're on the Missouri side sometimes, and I don't know what is going on with the vendetta between Kansans and Missourians. But they don't like to mix. And so sometimes getting the families just to come to the Equipping Center on the Kansas side is difficult. But if needed to, we do meet them on the Missouri side, or we're trying to do a lot more virtual options. So creating, kind of modules the families can take and complete just so that we check for understanding.
Okay, great. All right, well, in the interest of time, I think we're gonna have to move on. So Leah did offer that we have a learning circle, and she dropped her email address in the chat. So if your instructors are interested in getting connected, just drop her an email. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on, and I think we are Cedric, I think you're up.
Sounds good. Thank you, Leslie. And really quick, just a shout out to you, Leslie. You are and will remain the ultimate connector of bringing people together. And I really appreciate that, more so than you know. And so thank you so much for organizing this forum for us to be able to share and learn. And I want you to know, you guys, Rosie, Helen, Mary, you all going to get emails from me in the next few hours so that we can talk more about how we can work together. Okay. Let me share my screen. Again, my name is Cedric Deadmon, and I am the managing director for Per Scholas, Kansas City. And whoops, that is not what I wanted to share. You do not want to see my Slack channel. Give me 1 second. Let me do this again. Okay. Apologies. I seem to be having a few technical issues. Give me 1 second, please. I apologize, y'all. Can everyone see my screen? Or are you still seeing my Slack channel?
It's thinking still.
It's still thinking.
Hold
Okay.
on. Wow. And it's really thinking a long time.
Let's see.
Don't do anything yet, Cedric. We just don't know. We can't tell you what it's going to do because
Okay.
it's.
No worries. I'm going to go to a backup computer just in case this one won't cooperate.
Well, if you want to just, if you can see your slide deck,
I can.
maybe, maybe you could just, you can try sharing again. But, if you want to use that to guide your conversation, and then hopefully it'll pop up sooner or later.
Okay, why don't I do that, and then I can send the deck out to everyone
Okay.
sometime this morning. Okay, so again, apologies for the technical difficulties. Doesn't bode well for a conversation about technology and technology training, but we'll move forward. Again, I'm Cedric Deadmon. I'm the managing director for Per Scholas, Kansas City. And, in case you've not heard of Per Scholas, we are a 31-year-old national nonprofit that was started in the South Bronx of New York, primarily as a vehicle by which to help the local residents of the South Bronx to get engaged in digital equity and computer repair, and to teach them skills that would help them be able to hopefully break into the IT field. Fast forward 31 years, and Per Scholas has grown into a national nonprofit, and we have campuses in 25 cities across the country. The Kansas City campus opened in May of 2024. We are located at 300 East 39th Street at Park 39 inside of the old Westport Junior High School. Our primary focus, however, is, and people would tend to think that it's tech training. And certainly we do a lot of tech training across a lot of different areas. And I'll cover some of those here in just a moment. But our real focus is job attainment. How do we help individuals who go through intensive training to get connected to employers in the region that have job opportunities? So just to kind of level set, what do we know about this ecosystem? And what we know is that there's about 59 million Americans that work full time, but they don't earn a living wage. There's about 10 million technology jobs that are at risk right now of going unfulfilled by the year 2030. And we also know that 16% of the tech workforce is Black and or Hispanic, and only 25% of that workforce is comprised of women. So we've taken that and used that as our North Star to help us make the connection to the populations that we want to serve. So over the course of our history, and this is up the numbers as of the end of 2025, Per Scholas has trained 31,000 learners, 85% of which have been people of color, 65% have less than a bachelor's degree, and 40% are women. And by focusing on that North Star, we've been able to generate proven outcomes that we know can help to launch and accelerate those careers in tech. That includes an 85% graduation rate, an 80% career attainment rate, and the learners that come to our program and complete are earning 3 times their post-training and wages as they were before they entered into our training program. So we've got some big audacious goals as an organization across the country to train more learners, to upskill more learners, and to launch more intuitive, immersive training modules to help maintain that 85% graduation rate and that 80% job attainment rate. And what does that look like? So this year alone, we will train 6,000 immersive learners across all 25 campuses, plus our remote training campus that operates out of the District of Columbia. And then we will upskill 3,000 additional learners or alumni through our Career Accelerator program. Now, we know in order to do this effectively, we have to stay abreast of the ever-changing employment landscape. And we do that by using local labor market and job data that helps us to focus on expanding those career pathways and enhancing our broad AI strategy. So what are some of those career pathways? Well, we want to expand experiential learning and apprenticeship opportunities, many of which are already operating in some of our markets. We want to continue to conduct meaningful labor market research and engage employers to create, update, and release new curriculum. And I love that about Per Scholas is that we have the ability and the nimbleness to be able to customize curriculum based upon what employers tell us that they need and what they're looking for. Part of that AI strategy broadly, and we've all had the conversations about the disruption that AI is going to cause the workforce in several areas, particularly in entry-level jobs. But we've chosen to look at AI not as a disruptor. We've chosen to look at AI as something that can actually enhance the human-centric skills that an individual has so that they can become more fluent and thereby never lose their value in what they bring to the table to an employer. So, and part of that strategy is going to be launching our first AI native classroom pilot program, where we're going to use AI, an AI instrument called Azari, that will help to support not only our technical training, but our professional development training, which is about 20% of our total training curriculum. That will help support those learners as they're beginning to cast that wide net out into the open job market to make sure that they are job ready from day one, and that we know that we're sending an employer someone who is not only technically trained, but also has the professional development acumen to be able to fit into that company culture and to be able to work along teams and work along pipeline. Another piece of that is kind of the broader strategy of taking those existing tools that we have and adding kind of new functions like course recommenders, career recommenders, career pathway recommenders, and benefits navigation so that our learners have a clear understanding of kind of the various nuances that they will encounter once they get and land that job. So our model is fairly straightforward. The design, again, is to provide that rigorous tech training to meet employer talent and demand. Our recruitment strategy is also broad. We recruit from communities that are historically underrepresented in tech. Again, particularly people of color, women, and job seekers that do not have a 4-year degree. Our goal, again, is to train 80% of our instructional model in the technical area, and then 20% in durable skills where communication, collaboration, and character are key components of that. Then upon completion of our program, a person is then matched with quality employment opportunities to provide support for that on-the-job success. And then the really unique thing about it is that it's not really about that first job, but it's about accelerating that individual's career. How do we help them land that second job so that they gain the experience that they need to become even more valuable and use those market value assets? So our program is 15 weeks long in duration. We offer a number of different graduate certifications from Amazon Web Services or AWS, the CompTIA A+ certification, and the Google Professional IT certification. Currently in the Kansas City area, we have 4 different training tracks. 1 is hybrid and 3 are remote. The hybrid training track is our data center technician training. The remote training tracks are business intelligence, previously known as data analytics, our IT healthcare support program, and our cybersecurity program. And we've implemented and embedded AI into all of those curricula so that we can help learners understand exactly the impact that AI is going to have, not only now, but as we look into the future, what will that look like? The question we get asked quite often is, well, what does all this cost the student? And our answer is nothing. We provide all of this training at zero cost to our learners. They will never get a bill. They will never receive any sort of call from us concerning the money or anything like that. All of our funding is secured through philanthropy, government contracts, and through individual giving. And so we've been able to maintain a cost-free, tuition-free model for the entirety of the organization's history, and our goal is to continue to do that going forward. Our classes, again, are 15 weeks in duration. There's about a 2-week break between cohorts, and then we launch a new cohort. Our maximum learning or student capacity is 24 learners per cohort, and that is also inclusive of our remote training capacity as well. We love wait lists, but we love being able to build capacity in order to be able to serve more learners as well. And so what I'll close with is that I mentioned earlier that, I think the secret sauce is not the technical training, but it's the job attainment piece. And last year in 2025, the Kansas City market was able to maintain and end with an 81% job placement rate, which for a new campus is extremely high. And it was the highest amongst all the Per Scholas campuses in the country. And I think that there were a number of reasons why we were able to do that. Primarily, we have a dedicated talent solutions team whose primary job is to talk with employers day in, day out, look at the data, look at the research, and help us identify where we can support the learners in that job attainment journey. Some of the places or the employers that have hired our learners include Panasonic, Google, DH Pace. We work with Tech Systems, that's a third-party IT staffing agency, but they have multiple employer clients. We have a wonderful relationship with them. Costco, Meta, Children's Mercy Hospital, and again, Leslie being the connector she is, we got our first hire with Tech Connect KC, which is really exciting because that's going to give that individual that entry-level experience that they need in order to launch that career in tech. We are always excited about partnering with community organizations around supporting our learners and to recruit new learners. So if there's ever an opportunity for us to work together in some capacity, we would love to do that. We have a recruitment and admissions team that can help support that work as well. And of course, I'm always available to come and talk and help to build that relationship capacity as well. So I'm going to stop there. I again apologize. I had a full-blown presentation. I was kind of winging it there. I'm going to drop my email address in the chat. And if you would like to connect, please feel free to drop me a line. But does anyone have any questions?
I don't know if we have time for too many questions. So we may have to let those happen offline.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm super excited about Jamie. And he was in the office yesterday,
Yeah,
working. So
great.
yeah, love that. Okay, well, we're going to move to Karen and just let her give us a quick update about Goodwill.
Yes, it will be short and sweet. We did merge with MERS Goodwill, so we now are MERS Goodwill, formerly Goodwill of Western Missouri and Eastern Kansas. We are still in the process of merging systems and all of this good stuff, but what I can tell you is now instead of the 80 some counties that we covered as MOCAN Goodwill, we now cover more than 170 counties between Illinois, Missouri, and Kansas. What isn't changing, I don't know if the mobile workforce unit will end up expanding and going anywhere in those territories right yet. I don't think they know exactly what everything's going to look like because they do a lot of different programs from us and vice versa. So I think this year, I know for sure nothing is changing. We are still running all of the same programs that we run. And that means the mobile workforce unit is still available if folks need it. We're still teaching digital literacy. We still have our training programs at the Artemis Institute, which is the certified manufacturing. We have Bridge to Technology, and we've added a Cisco. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Like nothing is changing as far as the services we are providing at this time. We're just expanded our territory and more to come on what maybe some of their programs that they have that we may be adopting and vice versa, but still just in the very beginning phases of getting all of this stuff merged. And the first thing was systems and things like that. So
Speaking of systems, Karen, you have a new email address.
I do. It is
You want to
I
drop
will
that
drop
in the
it in.
chat for everybody?
I can do that, yes, because it's not the MOCAN anymore.
Yeah, just in case people want to
Thank
catch up with
you.
you or arrange for that mobile workforce unit, which is super cool. If you haven't seen it, it's a big bus-like
Yeah,
thing.
it's a
With,
retrofitted Winnebago with
yeah, with
10 computers in it. And we take that to folks that can't get to us to teach digital literacy classes, to do job applications, job fairs, any of that type of stuff for those that, yeah, this is your first meeting. I'm sorry, I kind of assume everybody knows about that big old bus, but if you don't, we do have a big old bus that will bring digital literacy to you and your folks that you serve. So please feel free to reach out to me to schedule that if you would like. And we do the beginning, we'll start with very basic classes and work all the way up to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, those types of things. But most of it starts off with very basic, how to stay safe online, internet, how to do emails, how to, do your phone, all that good stuff. So.
And you do the North Star Digital Literacy Certificate, right?
Correct. We do.
Yep.
So we'll do pre-test and post-test and people will get the certificates.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for that update, Karen. I just wanted to give you a little bit of time to let people know about that. What I think is an exciting development, and so your footprint's expanding and more practically your email address changed. So
yes,
always good.
For a while, if you still send to the MOCAN, it's being forwarded to the new email address. But yes, at some point that will be shut off. And if you're sending me something and I'm not responding, it's because I'm not getting it. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Well, we are in our announcements section of the meeting, and Shawn, I know you alluded to it earlier, but want to give you some time to talk about the grant opportunity you have.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let me just share something really quick. We're gonna get right into the meat and potatoes of this as well, and we can definitely connect later if we need to. Can you guys see this screen? Okay. Okay, we'll go through really quickly here. So this is I'm with AARP. I'm the Director of Outreach, and we have our 2026 Community Challenge Grant, and we're currently accepting applications for that. And it's a small window now between this meeting and when our application closes. So I'll kind of get to that really quick, but it's through our livable communities. And we been doing this this loan for since 2017, so 9 years, and it is something that we're very proud of. It impacts your communities that you all live in, so we just hope that you guys apply, you guys spread the word. Kind of jumping through, I will say this though, this much: if you guys have heard of this grant before, this year we have doubled our grant funding. So a lot of organizations can't say they've done this, but this year we are doubling our efforts. And this particular slide is just a breakdown of how we generally award these grants. 40% urban, 40% rural, 20% suburban type of things, and then 67% nonprofit and 33% grant funds. So we are here and we want to get you guys these funds so you guys can impact the work that you guys are doing. Our grants generally go from a few $100s. This year, we're the maximum grant that we're doing is up to $25,000. And these are grants that have to be implemented by December. So these are things, projects that you guys can work on, your organizations can work on, that can be done, throughout the spring, summer months, fall months, and then they must be implemented within December. And this slide just shows some of the things we've awarded. So, benches, we've awarded murals, we've awarded mobility studies, gardens, bike mobility studies, and things of that nature. So we kind of reward the whole facet of things that a neighborhood or a community could possibly be into. Kind of skip this portion as well too. This is the portion, this is very important. Once again, this is that timeline. So applications are due by 5 o'clock on March the 4th. And, and then by May, we'll notify all of the awardees that you guys have been awarded. We'll get that information turned in. And then your projects, if you are awarded, they must be completed by December 15th. And so we're looking to have, pictures. We really want this to be really community storytelling at its finest. So this is something that, once again, we know it's a fast turnaround, but we want to be able to give you guys the opportunity to not only know about it this year, but it's been going on since 2017, and I don't think it's going to stop. So whether it's this year, whether it's next year for your organizations, we just want you guys to be participants. Just really quick here as well, some of the grant opportunities. We do 3. One is a flagship grant, one is a capacity building micro grant, and one is a demonstration grant. And just really quickly on this, flagship grant is just a broad opportunity for communities to apply for funding and be creative. Well, these are going to be those digital spaces, public spaces, transportation, housing. So these are going to be our flagship grants. We're also going to have some things when it comes to capacity building grants. So once again, we talked about walk audits, bike audits. We even did something that was really cool around painting bus stops, making them more accessible, making them more stand out more. We've done those type of things. So that's capacity building micro grants that we do. And then the last part is demonstration grants. And these are going to be the things like high-speed internet, housing designs, making the housing more ADA approachable and friendly, pedestrian safety. So these are going to be on the bigger end of that grant capacity. So $25,000 usually will be in this demonstration grant portion of the grants. If you're a 501c3, 501c4, 501c6, nonprofits, government entities, basically most of you all's organizations that are on here, you guys are going to be able to be eligible for these type of grants. And Missouri historically, this is all AARP, but Missouri historically, we don't have a whole bunch of grantees. So, I would say if you have the capacity to be able to apply, I would definitely apply, because there's a good chance that you will be awarded some funding for this year. Once again, application deadline, and this is the part that I'll try to put in the chat as well too. Where to apply, aarp.org/community challenge grants. And then once again, that application deadline is going to be March 4th. So I know this is kind of like a quick fast of how we kind of want to go through this, but we're here for you. We want to make this known, and we want you guys to apply. I think as of today, we had about 16 applications. And when we're talking about doubling the capacity, we want to get, we would love to get at least 50 applications. So I know this is short, fast for organizations, but we have funding. And if you guys have the projects, we are here. We want to hear about your projects. So that is all that I have, Leslie. I know this is fast, but I put my information in the chat.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Shawn. It's always great in these challenging times to hear about funding opportunities. And I think Leah's going to put another short timeline opportunity in the chat. Spectrum, our charter has one as well. So just wanted to highlight those two opportunities today to everyone, and thank Shawn for being here and welcome. Ish. I mean, you've been here for a while, but you got big shoes to fill, of course, with Diane, but I appreciate you taking the time. All right. Well, we have just a few minutes left. Anybody have any announcements, events, classes, resources that they want to share with the group?
Yeah, we've got a University Health job fair coming up with Goodwill and University Health, and that's going to be on February the 26th. And I'm putting the flyer link in the chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Let's see if we can get there. It looks like it's at your local drive, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do that.
I can send you a link to the Google Drive. That's not going to work any better. I'll try to get it to you after class, Leslie.
If you can
after
download the actual file, maybe, and then upload it to the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try that.
Thanks.
Anybody else have anything going on? All right. Well, gonna hang on just a little bit so that Mary Kay has time to get that up. And Shawn, quick question. If people have questions about their proposal, I know that you can't really guarantee that your guidance would result in them being funded, but could they reach out to you if they have some questions? I know that these are very much about those shorter kinds of projects versus like long-term programs. So just if they want to talk through that with you, would that be something they could do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll be more than happy to.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, well, then Mary Kay, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'll need to get it to you afterwards. Thanks.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. All right, everyone. Well, if no one has anything else, Leah, you want to just remind everybody about the Learning Circle?
Yeah, sure. So for the information that I shared with Rosie earlier, there's a digital inclusion learning circle for those who are teaching digital skills classes or are interested or to learn more. So we are meeting every Tuesday at 3 p.m. It's a hybrid meeting. So you can attend on Zoom or you can attend in person at our LAMP campus in Midtown. It's on Linwood and Highway 71, the old church building. So please get in contact with me if you have anyone you know who is interested in participating in that. Then I will drop my email in the chat one more time. But I think that's a great sort of networking space. And this year we're focusing more on topics for each meeting. So we had a really interesting conversation about how to teach AI last month. This month, what are we talking about? I think we're talking about passwords, password protection, and just how to be safe online in March. So let me know if you want to be added.
All right. Well, everyone have a great weekend. Thanks for being here. And if you're ever interested in presenting, you know how to get a hold of me, and we would be, there it is. Okay. Yay. Thanks, Mary Kay.
Thank
So
you.
Mary Kay's put the flyer in the chat. You can download. And then I'll also follow up by email to everybody. So have a good one. Stay warm until second fake spring comes next week. And
Yeah.
and we will see you on March 6th. And we will be having a roundtable on net inclusion and a couple other speakers. So I hope to see you then, and it should be on your calendar. But if not, you can also email me and I'll add you to the calendar invitation. So have a good one, everyone, and we will see you in a few weeks.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Leslie. Bye.